Hi, space lovers! So imagine when you head outside at night, far away from the bright cities, and you'll see a beautiful streak of light splashed across the sky. That's the Milky Way. Of course, it's really the vast collection of stars contained in our home galaxy. But have you ever thought who discovered the Milky Way? Well, there's no way to know who actually first noticed the Milky Way. You can see it with your unaided eyes. So, our Paleolithic ancestors would have seen the Milky Way every clear night. So, perhaps a better question to ask might be who discovered that Milky Way is a galaxy? Ancient Greek philosophers proposed that Milky Way might be a vast collection of stars, too dim to make out individually. But the first actual proof came when Galileo Galilei pointed his first rudimentary telescope at the Milky Way in 1610 and was able to see that Milky Way was made up of countless number of stars. The Herschels in the late 1700s attempted to observe the shape of the Milky Way by subdividing the sky into series of square areas and counting the number of stars in each patch. They thought that the sun is located near the center of the Milky Way, and their counts showed a nearly symmetric drop-off in all directions from the sun. But they were unaware of the existence of interstellar dust, which was cutting off their view toward the true center of the system. Then in 1755, Immanuel Kant currently hypothesized, based on the work of Thomas Wright, predicted that Milky Way galaxy might be a rotating body of an innumerous number of stars that were held together by gravitational forces, much like our solar system, yet on a more grand scale. So, that was all about our home, our galaxy. The very idea that the other galaxies also exist still used to be controversial. Even into the 1920s, many astronomers thought that the Milky Way encompassed all that exists in the universe. The evidence found in 1924 that meant our galaxy is not alone was one of the great scientific discoveries of the 20th century. It was not that scientists weren't asking questions. They questioned the composition and structure of the universe as early as the 18th century. However, with the telescopes available in earlier centuries, galaxies looked like small fuzzy patches of light that were difficult to distinguish from the star clusters and even the gas and dust clouds that are part of our own galaxy. So all the objects that were not sharp points of the light were given the same name, nebulae, the Latin word for clouds. By the early 20th century, some nebulae had been correctly identified as star clusters and others such as the Orion nebulae as gaseous ones. Most of those, however, looked faint and indistinct even with the best telescopes, and their distances remain unknown. So when the 2.5 meter 100-inch telescope on Mount Wilson in South California went into operation, Edwin Hubble, the most famous American astronomer, also called as pioneer of distant stars, was able to resolve individual stars in several of the brighter spiral-shaped nebulae, including M31, the Great Spiral in Andromeda. You might have seen some stars in the night sky that pulsate in brightness, going from bright to faint to bright again. These are called variable stars. In the early 20th century, astronomer Henrietta Leavitt used a kind of variable star called Cepheid to realize that a relationship between a star's period and luminosity carries a great importance. Because of her incredible discovery, modern astronomy could prove the existence of humongous collection of stars and galaxies. And using these reliable indicators, Edwin Hubble could measure the distances of the nebulae. After painstaking work, he estimated that the Andromeda galaxy was about 900,000 light-years away from us. At that enormous distance, it had to be a separate galaxy of stars, obviously, located well outside the boundaries of the Milky Way. Today, we know that the Andromeda galaxy is actually slightly more than twice as distant as Hubble's first estimate, but his conclusion about its true nature remains unchanged. No one in the human history had ever measured a distance so great. When the Hubble's paper on the distances to nebulae was read before a meeting of the Astronomical Society on the first day of 1925, the entire room erupted in a standing ovation. A new era had begun in the study of the universe, and a new scientific field, extragalactic astronomy, had just been born.